Guys, I have a confession to make. I already broke my rule and I bought some books. So this is a book haul of all the books I've gotten in the last 3 months. I know, I was on a book buying ban for literally all of 5 minutes because there was a sale and I just cannot say no to a sale. I also went out with my sister for some lunch and we stumbled upon a bookstore, and another weekend I went out with my mum to lunch and I stumbled upon a bookstore. So now I've just told everybody in my life to just drag me away from any bookstore I see because it's become a problem. I have over 30 books now on my TBR and I just keep buying. Here's the book haul. The first book I have here, I've wanted for ages, honestly, so long. I think over a year, and it's called Anatomy. Look how gorgeous that cover is, which is what got me in the first place. I didn't exactly know what the book was about, but I just liked it for the cover. So I forgot about it for a bit, and then I saw Rachel Catherine read it, and she liked it enough. She didn't love the series, and I'm just really curious. It is a duology, but unfortunately, I only got the first book because I just want to see if I like it. I don't like buying a full set if I don't know I'm gonna like it, especially if it's not on a sale. So this is Anatomy by Dana Schwartz, and this is kind of, it's a more of like a period love story. I don't think it's like fantasy or anything if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know, the cover got me. It's set in the 1800s and our main female character wants to be a physician, but in this time period females weren't allowed in like higher education institutions. It was colleges, and university was only for men naturally. I think that she steals textbooks, but now all she needs is like cadavers so she can practice like opening them up and analyzing all the parts and stuff like that. So she stumbles upon a grave digger and he kind of sorts her out with bodies and stuff so she can practice. And this all just like is a segue into like an unlikely partnership. So it sounds so interesting. And the cover is absolutely gorgeous. The kind of pinky and like she's wearing a dress, but it looks like a heart, like obviously symbolizing her cutting open bodies. I don't know, but I'm very excited to see what this book is about. Next, this I did get on a sale, and it is a duology. So the duology were both really affordable, 69 Rand at my local bookstore. So I just ended up getting both of them because I know if they're on such a big clearance sale that usually they will go either out of print or they just won't stock it in South Africa anymore. So it doesn't have a name. It's just 2 books. I don't think the duology has a name. So it is The Record Keeper and The Seed of Cain, and I can never pronounce her name, but it's Agnes Gamillion. This is YA dystopian, and we all know how much I love YA dystopian. So when I saw that it was dystopian, automatically I was like, yes. I don't read a lot of Black authors, so I thought it would be interesting just to try and incorporate some more. I've read Tia Williams, and I didn't really love the writing style. It was very Americanized, and I didn't always get the references and the slang. So yeah, I thought I'd just try this out because you can't go wrong with YA dystopian. Come on, let's be honest. I've read a couple of random ones, namely Followers by Megan Angelo, and then I read 9 by Zach Hines, both unknown to me. Absolutely love them, literally think about it all the time. So with that track record, I thought this might be interesting. So this is like post World War III, where the world is just in ruins. All the nations kind of come together and they kind of formulate a peace treaty. But the peace treaty is only put in place to serve certain people, and it touches on race, and our main female character, she's from Congo. So yeah, I thought that would be interesting. I've never read anything like that, and it just being YA dystopian already just makes me excited to try it out. That's all I really know about these books. That's all I really know about the authors, but I'm very excited to try this out. Next, another one I saw on the sales rack, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Thank goodness this is a first in a series because mistakes were made. This is, like I said, by Samantha Shannon, and she also wrote The Orange Tree, which I've always been intrigued by. I've seen it at my local library as well, but it's like the thickest book I've ever seen in my life. It is both tall and thick, so very intimidating. But because I still wanted to try her writing, because a lot of people speak really highly of her, and it's mostly the YouTubers I watch bunch that are kind of like more into intellectual books rather than like just love stories or romance. Not that there's anything wrong with romance, but I don't watch a lot of creators who only read romance, mostly fantasy, obviously. But this is, I think, fantasy. I think, because our main female character, she's a clairvoyant, but that's all that I know. The reason why I wanted to read this book is just because of like Samantha Shannon's reputation. So we'll see if I enjoy her writing style. But on the cover, I just saw it says, "Sink into this fabulous epic fantasy thriller." So it is fantasy and it's also a thriller. So that sounds very, very interesting and I cannot wait to read this. It is a part of well, so far it says there's 3 books out, but if I'm not mistaken, I heard someone say that it's a 7-book series. Obviously, not all the books are published yet, but that's very, very exciting. No, there's 4 books in the series so far. So yeah, it's very exciting to obviously have a series that's already completed. So very, very excited for this. I just said so many times. It's actually ridiculous. Next, I got Bully by Penelope Douglas. I always say Penelope Cruz, so I need to be careful when I say her name, but Penelope Douglas. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd book in a series. So it's Bully, which is the first one, and then we have Until You, and then Rival, and this is a 5-book series, and I got number 3. But it was so affordable, and I like Penelope Douglas, contrary to what other people think. Like, I've loved every single book I've read from her. I loved Punk 57. I loved the first book in the Devil's Night series. I haven't continued the series. And then what was the other one I read? The Birthday Girl. Really like that. I haven't read Credence. It's the incestuousness of it, even though it's not incestuousness, it kind of put me off. So I haven't read that yet, but I bought this. So I'm going to have to find the other 2 books ahead of this, but probably try and find it on Amazon, or maybe we'll see if my bookstore had it, but I didn't see it. So yeah, unfortunately, this probably can't be read. I do this all the time. I get so excited because it's on the sales rack that I just grab books and I don't actually check if it's the first book in a series. So my bad, but very excited for this as well. We only have 3 books left, so don't you worry. It's not going to take as long as I thought it would because I didn't jabber on about this too much. So the next book I got was Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I always say Olivia, but it's Olivia Blake. And she is the author of the Atlas 6. I wanted to get into those books, but they're really big and they are really long and apparently super academic. So I'm intimidated by it, but yet intrigued. So I just saw her name on the sales rack and I was like, okay, this is the perfect way because it's nice and slim. The font is the perfect size, good line spacing. This is the perfect way to kind of sample her writing. I'm not sure if this came before or after Atlas 6, to be honest with you. No, it came after. So it's the Atlas 6 trilogy and then Alone with You in the Ether, which I think is a trilogy as well. And then there's 2 more after that she's published. When was this even published? 2020? No. It says first published in the UK in 2022. I don't really know what this is, but it does say a love story. And yeah, I don't know what the book is fully about. I just know it is 2 people who have an unlikely meeting and both of them have some sort of psychological ailments, or I wouldn't say ailments, but a problem, psychological problem. So one of them is in psychotherapy and the other one's like a super perfectionist, routine, almost OCD person, and they come together and it says like they have a series of 6 conversations and it could just disrupt the entire simulation. So that sounds very interesting to me. I don't know what's up with the bees or what relevance the bees or hive have in this, but I'm still excited to see what I think of her writing because it would be a good like example of what I guess this Atlas 6 was and help me commit to that series. Let me know if you've read the Atlas 6 and what you thought of it, but yeah, I thought this was good and it's not a huge book. It's under 300 pages. So that should be a nice quick read and obviously just show me a little bit of what her writing is like. Then this was more recently. Like I said, I went out for lunch with my mom and we went shopping for her to find a dress for my wedding and stumbled upon a bookstore. I actually didn't stumble upon it. I went to the bathroom and then I had to cross paths with a bookstore. And naturally I went inside just to check their sales items and I found some. So first I have The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz, and I've heard so many different contradicting opinions about this book. it made me curious enough to pick it up. When I saw it on the sales rack, I was like, absolutely. I wasn't going to pay 389 Rand for it, but I'd pay 129 Rand for it for sure, because some people absolutely loved it and some people hated. There was no like real middle ground, but apparently the thriller aspect of things moves really slowly. So I don't know. It's just like 5 people who go on a writing retreat, and while they're on this writing retreat, they have to start from scratch. So they're not actually going there to continue their novels or to improve their actual novels that they've been writing. They have to write it from scratch, and the best one will win a publishing deal. And every night I think they need to like turn in their stories and like slide it under this person's door. So yeah, and I think people just start dropping like flies from what I've heard. So the cover is absolutely gorgeous again, and obviously I love a good thriller, but it's hard to find a good thriller. So I'm excited to see what I think of this, because literally, like I said, the discourse on this made me so curious. And lastly, I want to move the sticker so you can actually see this. They put it in a stupid place. So it was 109 Rand, but this I really did take because of the cover as well. Look how gorgeous that cover is. It just looks really cool, and it's not real people, it's drawn. So this is called All That's Left to Say by Emery Lord. It is a mystery thriller again. So our main female character, Hannah, and her cousin are best friends. And when Sophie, her cousin, passes away unexpectedly from an overdose at school or something, Hannah is like bamboozled because she didn't realize her cousin even did drugs or anything like that. So a year later, or a couple of years later, she enrolls into the same private school that her cousin Sophie went in to get to the bottom of it. But she ends up absolutely loving it and needs to decide whether she wants to, you know, just continue mourning and accept Sophie's death, or if she wants to continue her search, which could ruin everything. So that sounded interesting enough for me. I think this is an indie published book because I've never heard of it, but it's also YA. It's by Bloomsbury. I've never actually heard of that. But yeah, it was published in 2023, so fairly recent. So yeah, very, very excited for all my books. But that is the whole haul. I think just in the spirit of things, because I did this in my previous haul, let's do a slight unhaul, but it's going to be disappointing because I only have one book to unhaul. The book that I will be unhauling after bringing all of this new books into our orbit is Happenstance by Tessa Bailey. This was trash. I didn't like it at all. If you want to go watch my wrap up where I added this in, I'll pop it in the cards. I read this in December. It was terrible. I'm surprised it slipped through the radar when I did my last unhaul, but this is a really, really bad book. Really bad book. So yeah, this is going to be our unhaul for this haul. That came out really weird, but this is going to be our unhaul in order to incorporate our new haul. So yeah, that is everything, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I've been in a sort of slump lately, life slump, book slump, everything slump. So I haven't filmed a lot. I have an upcoming video, I think after this video, and I'm trying to reread books that I previously didn't like. It's not going well, I can tell you that much. So yeah, I'm feeling super slumpy. So I thought I'd just incorporate this just to break things up a little bit and not put so much pressure on myself. I get married in 1 month. So yeah, things are crazy. My head is all over the place, and I chose the wrong time to reread these books for sure, because it's not putting me in a good headspace. But anyway, I'm really happy with all these books that I read. I can't wait to read them. Let me know if there's anything you are interested in seeing me read next. But yeah, that is it for today. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And also, like I said, pop me a comment and let me know if you've read any of these books or if you want to see me read any of them. But other than that, I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.